another episode. Ciao. What a time. What a time to be alive. Welcome to the Divine Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Simply Priceless, and welcome back to another episode. Thank y'all for being here. I hope y'all's giving yourselves grace. I'm speaking life. I'm speaking life and grace over everybody. But in all seriousness though, give yourself grace. Make sure you pouring into you first. Make sure you loving on you first. Make sure that if you do not have, that you are not giving. Because why would you give away what you don't have? Again, it's like I said in the last episode, one of the episodes I did, where it's like, you leave the faucet running, they gonna leave the glass in the sink. I'm just saying. Meaning, whatever you are giving out, you can't necessarily expect it back. And if you giving what you don't have, you giving from a place of lack, then that's your fault. I'm just saying. It ain't a lie. Don't give to everybody. Don't give to everybody. Don't give if you ain't got it. Don't be afraid to say no. You can say no. Because if you say no, you might feel a twinge of like, dang, but you gonna feel even more annoyed if you say yeah and you can't or you didn't have. It's like I was talking about. Man, let me tell you what y'all can't do. You can't be you don't have to be your friend's therapist. Did you see what I did there? You don't owe them your therapy. And they probably not paying you. And I guess I understand, like, therapy is kind of steep. Don't nobody really like being in therapy. Don't nobody talking to me about their feelings. People be in relationships now like talking about their feelings. But the thing about it, you can't do and be for everyone. Y'all better not make fun of my socks. You can't do and be for everybody. You're not a superhero. You weren't designed and meant to be of service to everyone. I know people like to think, I was just created to serve. I was just created to serve. I'm created to be in service. Listen, don't let people lie to you, and don't think that your only purpose here is to be of service to others. Well, then, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm saying that that's not somebody's sole purpose in life. Is just to give and give and give. I don't believe that. I think we are here alive at this time and to figure out who we are and figure out our journeys. But I don't believe that the entirety or the entire journey somebody has is just meant for them to just give and therapize and do and be. Man, no. Because I'm tired of giving y'all stuff. Or not y'all, but like, I'm tired of giving stuff out. But in fact, I'm not giving stuff out. If I don't have it, you're not getting it. And even if I do have it, there's a very slim chance, you know? Because at this day and age, again, people will take and take and take and take more. It will be a spiritual and an emotional buffet. And you can't get mad. I'm not saying that you can't get it. It is kind of annoying. But because sometimes we give and we want something in return. It's like love. Sometimes you give love wanting it to come back to you, or you give it because you want it to come back to you. But love has to be given freely. I believe we have to love ourselves more. We got to forgive ourselves more. We got to start working to heal ourselves more. And I'm talking about for real. I'm talking about really, really. I'm talking about there's so many emotions flying and people don't know where to put them. They don't know what they are. They don't want to accept them. They don't want to address them. A lot of people are scared of their own emotions, or they scared of they like, oh Jesus, I want so much for us. Um, Man, you got to be outside. I was talking about this in one of these episodes where it's not your job to therapize people around you. And I know, like, it's easy to talk to people and, like, y'all get into, you know, sometimes it's easier, it seems. But the thing about therapizing everybody around you, it don't matter if you can pay it or not. Trying to be everybody's therapist, who's therapizing you? And then then when you start to really it becoming habitual and somebody coming to you because they continuously need advice or they continuously want to be appeased, you're going to deplete yourself. And again, somebody will take and take from you as long as you're giving it to them. But the thing about therapy, it has to be outside the parameters of your think tank. And a lot of times, our think tank is either formulated by or we're surrounded by people who make it up or people that are in the same place as us. And I mean, your whole group could need to be therapized. And then you got the fact or element of like your friends gonna tell you what they think you want to hear. If they not like a lot of our friends, like people tell you what you want to hear, what they want you to hear, or whatever. No, no, no. I think I said that on. I ain't said that right. It's not your job or obligation. And a lot of times, you can be in the same like space mentally as somebody else. Y'all could be going through similar situations. So it's not really best for the blind to lead the blind. Like, and then there's this, it's a lot of pressure when you are put in a position to be somebody's therapist as a friend. Cause this is like, dang, mm, people don't be want to go to therapy. And that's something else. And I said that because of that. Like, you can't depend on your friends to therapize you because your friends have a vantage point that a therapist is not gonna have. And your friend has maybe a closer POV, a much closer POV than a therapist would. And that's just the truth. Your friends don't have the answers. They don't know. They trying to figure out the same thing as you. And y'all talking about it together. Or they coming to you and you going to them. Well, y'all need to separately go see somebody. Therapy should never be considered a joke. It's not funny. It's nothing to joke about. It's nothing that you should be made fun of for. It's nothing that you should feel ashamed of. Everybody need therapy. For real. Because everybody is working through some form or some type of trauma. Everybody is dealing with everyday struggles. You may not, no, I'm not gonna lie. I think we all do need it. Because we all coming up and alive at this same ghetto, crazy, chaotic time. Church, therapy, quality relationships, love, up top, God. Tip top of the list. But God is love. So we need to get back to that. We need to get focused and centered. And therapy in and of itself is just such a safe place. And it's such a place to be vulnerable. And it's so much, I feel like there's so much power in being vulnerable. And I'm starting to understand that is a much more place to operate from than a place of bitterness and confusion. And if anything, we need to be kind to ourselves. And you learn, I think, you develop tools when you really getting to utilize therapy and you really getting to take it serious. Like, You'll know where you are. You'll know what you're giving out. You know what you're taking in. We need to be in our own individual therapy. Like, I don't know what people do in relationships, marriage counseling. I don't know about that. But I know for sure that whether you married, single, whatever, at our big age, because I'm talking to people my age, and I'm talking to a little bit everybody. And everybody is going through a lot right now. And if you can, I'm not saying you can't have your friends be there for you and support you, but I'm saying your friends are not always gonna have the best advice. And it's kind of like this confirmation bias. Like they gonna say it's it just ain't gonna be 100% accurate. You asking literally people be in the same place. This is why people in friend groups be in friend groups. And if you're dealing with something that's severe enough, and maybe you can't really talk about it, maybe you don't know how deep it is, maybe you really need to unearth something, like you can't necessarily go to your homegirl for that. And that's okay because there are resources. So whether you're dealing with something, some type of ideation, if you're dealing with some type of depression, some type of anxiety, those are things that are mentally going on, but they're not tangible things. And in order to get healed and to really get to a place, like a real peaceful place, you got to know what's making you afraid. You got to know what's going on that has you crippled mentally and emotionally. We got to figure that out. And I'm not saying it's an overnight process, but I am saying that therapy is something that we could all benefit from. I'm not saying again, not saying that you can't consult with your homegirls or your homeboy or whatever, but I am saying that therapy is a much more intentional way of releasing. And it's like you can't put everything on another person. You just can't. And it's not saying you can't talk to your homies, but it is to say people be needing help too. So like when people talk about trauma dumping and stuff, like just be aware. Be aware. Be aware of what you're putting on people. Be aware of just be aware. And to make ourselves more aware, we need to tap into better help. We need to tap into psychology today. We need to really start doing stuff that's gonna help us mentally and emotionally and spiritually sustain. Cause without that, $1.5 million ain't gonna mean nothing. We have, my God, nobody know where they at. But you know what? You know what though? I think times are changing. And I think people are starting to wake up and realize things about themselves. People are starting to realize, okay, I've been struggling with this reaction for a long time. Where is this coming from? And why am I feeling it so strong? And that's the thing. It's like therapy causes you to really go into your mind and into some places that are just dark and that you just don't want to re-experience. But that's the thing. You go to the therapy office, you go talk to somebody after so long, it fades to black. And you didn't have to sit in your room or in a place like where you're not getting answers. Like you got to really get that off. That's important. That's important. Dang, that's important. It's such a safe space too. Like you need a therapist you could trust. It's like a pastor. If you can find a good one, you need one you could trust. You need one that's really gonna help to guide you in a more healthy way. Because a lot of us are using coping mechanisms. A lot of us are using sex, drugs, alcohol. A lot of us are engaging in fake dopamine acts and all types of stuff. Like, bro, the stuff we engaging in is not healthy. It's not helpful. You think it's help you think our ancestors were staring at a screen for 12 hours a day? No. You get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose. You have choices. You have choices. It's not to say that you're going to make the perfect ones. It's not to say that you need to make all decisions all the time. It's not to say you got to have everything figured out. But it is to say you don't have to carry the weight of your past, of your trauma, of depression. You don't have to feel as though you have to carry the weight of the world. Because I'm going to tell you, the disciples couldn't do everything by themselves. You just can't do all. You can't do everything. You just can't. But what you can do is figure out ways to love yourself. I be having to really by myself. Like, you have to just remember that. You have to remember that. You have to remember that therapy is important because it's important for us to know what we might be suffering from. It's like physical reactions or life like stuff. It comes from a place. It comes from somewhere. And it's also okay. I will say that too. It's okay. I think it's more strength in admitting you need therapy and actually talking to a therapist than it is to act as if you are strong and that you don't need anybody or need help and that you are just perfectly fine. Ain't nobody 100% fine right now. Not at all. So, I mean, people are good, but we all are kind of trying to get a handle on something. And I think the one thing people are failing to realize and are like really avoiding is like the mental health part. Like, everybody trying to get money, everybody trying to have sex, everybody trying to get rich, everybody trying to do more so that they can accomplish more. Where are people's minds? We not prioritizing mental health, but we trying to get money. That's crazy because money is literally not even a thing. It's a state of mind. Rich, wealthy. I ain't saying that money is, you know what I'm saying, but money ain't the goal cannot be financed. The goal cannot be 100% financial. It can't be about what we gotta get. It can't be about how much we making and how much we get. No, because in order to do anything, if your mental is not intact, if you don't have you first, if your mind is not clear and in order, you're not going. It's gonna impair your ability to function outside of yourself. Therapy is a safe place. It is confidential. You will leave feeling rejuvenated. You're gonna be a little sad. You might feel a little emotional, but you will feel better even after talking that one time. And you do anything, a muscle is a muscle. You practice anything, it becomes, you get stronger in it. When you become, yeah, it's funny because therapy, you got to be vulnerable. But you do it enough times, then it becomes, okay, I just need to chop it over my therapist and I'll be cool. And then things as you talk to somebody, they fade to black. Things fade to black. A lot of it is just not addressing. We're just not addressing. We're not addressing. And I think because we don't know, it's like, dang, we're not addressing, but we don't know how. We don't know who to talk to. We don't know what is really bothering us. Like these questions, these are why it's important to have a therapist. Because they know what questions to ask. They know what questions, they know the things to look for. They know outside, they outside the think tank. They are outside of your friend group. And they can see patterns. They recognize signs. They hear. They see. They can identify, and from with a whole different set of skills, whole different knowledge base. So that to me, that is so much self love. It's like, dang, what other form of love is there? You loving yourself, disconnecting and dissociating from anybody that does not give you love. Lunacy. You cannot give and give and give and give. Because that's not your job. It's just not. The world will have you convinced that you just have to be and do and make and serve. I don't think that's what God wanted for us, to be honest with you. I don't think that was God's design. Maybe God want us to just live. Maybe God want us to really just like be happy and vibey. Maybe God really want that. I don't know. But I don't think. I think for real, God never intended for us to just be slaving or just doing or making somebody happy or self-serving. Like, bro, come on. Like, I didn't even say self-serving. But like, and when does it end? Where does it end? When people start to really take seriously, when you really start to look, like you gotta want to look. You gotta be able to sit in the dark sometimes. Like you might really, it's like this. It's like either you gonna sit in the dark or you gonna be crippled. You gonna be forced to like deal with it. Like, or you gonna be crippled. Going into the dark to me is just being able to go into those places that are unseen, unknown, where man, that's where you need to go. That's why therapy is important. Because also, you can't possibly solve your problems in your crib. You can't possibly think that you're gonna figure out every answer with no outside. You know what I'm saying? You in a situation because you don't know what you're doing. You in a situation because you just, you know what I'm saying? You mentally discombobulated. We need to be able to recalibrate. We got to be able to go about our daily lives and function within society from a good, healthy mental, emotional, and spiritual place. This is why you cannot expect anybody to give to you what you don't give to yourself. This is why you can't give to others what you're not giving to yourself. You see how I'm making it all? You see what I'm doing? You see? It becomes this weird cycle. It's all cyclical. Just a bunch of cycles. Repeated patterns. We gotta start breaking our patterns. We gotta start breaking these patterns up. This is why getting off the phone is essential right now. Because everything is trying to get your attention. But therapy, talking your problems out, getting answers. Because that's the thing about a therapist. They can see beyond what you can see. They can see beyond your third eye. They can see what you are missing. They can see patterns. They can see history. Therapists just be knowing. And that's their job. And funny enough, therapists need therapists too. But it ain't all going to come out of a journal. It's not all going to be figured out. A lot of it can't be figured out with no podcast. A lot of what I'm saying may not even resonate. A lot of what I'm saying may resonate, but there may be a lot more work necessary than what I'm saying, apart from what I'm saying. And it's okay if that's something you're not ready for either. It's like, I'm not saying that you need to jump up and call a therapist tomorrow. I think people got it bad at making people feel like they need to make the change immediately, and then it should be immediately known and immediately remembered. That's not how life works, I feel. Stuff takes time. And that's okay that it takes time. But when you have information, you get to determine and you are responsible for what you do with that information. So if this is new information, you take this, marinate on it, whatever. But ultimately, you have to put you first. You have to therapize. You have to get help. You have to get the help you need. You have to get the help you need. And a therapist can help with that. Because you're not dealing with this life stuff alone. You're not dealing with it by yourself. It's a lot more people in therapy than you think. And it's a lot more people who are in need of therapy than you think around you. And that's why I said get out of the confines of your friend group and the mental think tank that y'all are all probably dealing with. Birds of a feather is a reason for that saying. There's nothing wrong with your friend group. But if you are dealing with some stuff that you're not telling them, you're telling them, but they're not giving you the answers because they have a certain vantage point that is not going to fully help you as you discover how to uproot something. A lot of people are in friend groups and people have different types of traumas and you got different things going on. You don't need to be sharing a therapist for sure, for sure. Keep your therapist specifically to you, for you at all times, because you don't want nobody having your therapist, do you? But we have to start somewhere. We got to start somewhere. Because it's cool. I get a lot of enjoyment and I'm learning more and more and doing more and more intentionally when I journal, prayer, being in communion, in community. These things are important. But there's a psychological element to mental health. The psychology, the study of the mind. This is why I love psychology. I majored in it, but I also love knowing how people think and why people do the things they do and the patterns, and the nonverbals and the way people operate in society. I'm very big on that. So everything I'm telling y'all to do is things that I study and it's things that I've done myself and I do research on. And I know that there are a lot of things that are impacting people's mental health right now. A lot of things. Whole lot of things. But you have choices. And in talking to a therapist, you can better understand, okay. It helps so much. And I think people are so therapy avoidant because they are terrified of what they're going to find. You're scared of you. Understandable. Fear is, and people really do be scared. Like, you be scared it's scary to deal with the reality. So to get to the root of the problem, oh my God, who wants to do that? I've been in therapy a good amount of time, but it's taken me a good amount of time to actually realize the necessity and utilize it as the resource and tool that it is, and not to complain about it. It's not something that you get to do it. Nobody's holding you, and nobody gonna hold your hand and make you do therapy. But I see a lot of things going on right now, and I know that it's a lot of hope for people, but people gotta be willing to put the reps in. Because again, a lot of people ain't trying to go to therapy because they lazy. And you think you're going to find the answers in your friend group because really a lot of times you just want somebody to tell you what you want to hear. I ain't got a ton of friends. I do need to make sure I feel like a better listener. But I also feel like therapy has helped me to make certain distinctions. Like, it's helped me to, I'm learning and I've learned so much about myself. And I'm learning so much about myself by talking to somebody. Just talking to somebody. And then that's the funny thing. Talking to your friends it get real sticky and tricky because you tell your friends something depending on how the friendship evolves or what time and place, your friend might bring up something that is very traumatic, or they might bring up a touchy topic as to prove a point or as to do something. And that's where it gets getting real. Then the friendship gets affected. Then your relationship, then your POV is like, just make sure that you going, just listen. Talk to your friends, be there for your friends, but know and understand your friends are not going to help you get through every life situation. And they not going to help you get to the root of the things that you don't even want to tell your friends about. Things that you scared to address. Therapy and its purpose is to unearth and to address and to pull apart. You can't pull everything apart mentally because you're mentally in the mental confines. Mentally confounded, if that's the word. And it's okay. Because I'm serious and I'm lighthearted. Like, it's okay. You ain't the only one. Why you think therapy exists? Because therapists need therapists. You see the state of affairs. It ain't nobody in the world right now who wouldn't benefit from having a therapist. And it's not to say you gotta find your way. But you do gotta figure something out. You do gotta figure some stuff out. You do gotta figure some stuff out. And in order to do that, you don't have to figure it out alone. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. And there are resources. It's numbers to call. It's therapy services available. It's people that you could text. It's support groups that you can join. But you're not dealing with life alone. It ain't just you. I love you. It ain't just you though. And I love people because I just feel like people need more love. Like, it brings me joy to give love. I'm a loving person. I ask people their names in grocery stores. But we got to make sure that if we giving it, we have it. And we have more than enough. And in order, I feel like, to know what you have and to know how you are even functioning, like, people might be giving out, not realizing that they are giving and that they don't have, or they just don't know how to stop. People pleasing mentality is a real thing. And ultimately, that's something that can be changed. You can break out of that. But it's not your obligation to help heal anybody. It is just on you to make sure you're healed, that you're mentally well, that you're stable. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're in charge of. You ain't got to make nobody do. You can't make nobody do nothing. And you don't have to make nobody do nothing. Quick math. Because it ain't on you. You was not put here to be anybody's savior. That's it. And that should give you some type of liberation and freedom. You don't have to do nothing you don't want to do. And I mean that. And any obligation you putting yourself under, that you don't have to. You don't have to. And I think a lot of people feel obligated to do. I gotta do this. And any type of obligation, I mean, like, it's something that essential versus just leisure. You don't have to do nothing. You ain't got to make nobody happy. Because you can't do that anyway. It's not your job to be of service. I'm not talking profession. It's not your job to save anybody. Because why would you want to? You need to save yourself. You need to make sure you're good. You need to make sure you're full. And it is not your obligation to make sure people are mentally sane. I ain't talking about your paychecks, what you getting paid to do. I'm talking about it's not your job to ensure somebody else's survival. It's not your job to make sure somebody else is mentally sane or that the proper chakras are activated. It's not your job to make sure that somebody is checking in with themselves. It's not your job to make sure that people are full. It's not your job. It's not your job. And maybe that's what somebody need to hear today. It's not your job. You're not getting compensated. And regardless, that's not something you should want to be compensated for. You don't have to, your life, nobody's life is in your hands. Cause what? Cause let's be so serious. Me personally, I'm quick with the nose nowadays. I ain't got it. If I do got it, I ain't got it. If you think I got it, you're tripping out because I don't. Even for me, I ain't got it. Unless, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be there for myself. I'm going to make sure I'm full into capacity and I have more than enough because I'm working the therapy and because I'm identifying what I need and what I don't want and what I don't need and what I don't have and who is doing what. People running amok in our minds because we doing everything but therapy. We doing everything but getting to the root of true issues. That's why it's a lot going on. A lot of people not praying. A lot of people not getting therapy. It's a lot happening. And we need to get to the root of that. Cause I mean it's like dang, it's like if you don't work to actually heal and recover, you stay stagnant. But you stay man, we just need to heal. It's like if you broke your leg and you didn't do no type of therapy, no type of nothing. I can't imagine how you gonna feel. What's that gonna be like? So how much more do you feel in terms of you and the necessity, like the necessity of your personal mental health? We can't keep saying or making the excuse of not wanting to, of something not being comfortable, of it just not, you don't think. Shut up with that. Shut up with that. You have to shut up with that. We all need to shut up with that. Because a lot of stuff in life not only is not meant to make you comfortable, it ain't going to make you comfortable. It's specifically meant to make you uncomfortable for some odd reason. But ultimately, whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever thought has been implanted can be undone with a new thought. Whatever pattern or habit can be undone and a new one can be created. And if you want new patterns and you want new habits and you want to figure out what's going on in you, you're going to need to get out that room. And you can call your therapist on the phone in your room. But it's deeper than just journaling. We're in the thick of it now. We deeper than journaling. We past that. It's beyond just journaling. It's beyond just sitting there. We gonna call homegirl and she gonna talk. We gonna listen. She gonna let us talk for 15 minutes and we gonna feel better. Cause both of y'all are probably missing something. Cause just cause she giving you answers don't mean that she know what she talking about. Cause let's be serious. A lot of people don't be knowing what they be talking about. And again, you in a circle of people who may need the same help as you. Or more so. Or you may need help more than anybody. So, I mean, come on, man. Like, how do you want to show up in the world? How do you show up in the world? What are you dealing with? What do you need to release? What bothers you? What pisses you off? Why does this happen? Where did this come from? Who did this to me? What happened? When did this take place? How did I get here? Why is this a problem? What can I do now? How can I fix this? How can I get through this? What can be done so that I can get beyond this situation? What do I mentally need to change? What patterns do I need to develop? What habits do I need to form? In what ways do I need to to cater to myself? Therapy enables you to see your life from a completely different vantage point. It allows you to take off the veil and see clear. Because a lot of stuff is just got our eyes just covered. A lot of stuff is just some things we need to just really address and unearth. And therapy is, I feel like, one of the best places and ways to do that because it's unbiased. You don't have to feel bad. If anything, you're going to get some encouragement. It's going to be somebody to tell you, okay, yeah, you did this time. You can change this. And how do you feel you did that? What do you think you can do different? Because, bro, come on. We can't keep dealing with the same stuff. I'm working on it too. It's not just you. But you are responsible for you. That's just my POV. We just gotta do. You just gotta start. You gotta start. You gotta do something. You gotta do something so that we can start figuring out what does love feel like? What does happiness feel like? What is it like to be free from depression? What is it like to just be, you know? But you also gotta be able to admit the fact that you need therapy and that you need somebody to talk to and that you need to just release stuff. Like, people be thinking that they gonna do everything to heal, but doing like people try to do everything to heal, but actually doing what they need to do to heal because they're not addressing what they need to heal from. And so they just continuing to suffer from the things that they need to heal from while also battling and trying to decide over what to heal from and dealing with the depression and grief and frustration of not knowing what to heal from and healing from less stuff and suffering more because you just don't want to heal. I want better for us all. But that's my take on that. And at the same time, if you are in therapy, it's a lot of grace you should be giving yourself. There's a lot of love you should be giving you. And I'm not talking about them telling you, oh, you did good. You progressed. You did this week. Man, you better pat yourself on the back and buy yourself some cookies because therapy is a literal challenge. It is like one of the craziest muscles and things to actually really like stay consistent with and really be open to. Because if it's difficult to go through something, it's the resuscitation of trauma when you got to deal with it in therapy. And then you got somebody asking you probing questions, asking you, well, how did you come to this realization? Or how did you end up? Why would you put yourself? It's like, dang, Gina, girl, like, but that's the great thing because when you actually unearth and when you figure out, when you see, bruh, let's think about therapy. When you actually figure out what it is, the hardest part, I think, is coming to the realization or coming to like having to accept something is wrong, having to accept that something hurts you. I be want to smack everybody. I be want to smack folks without being in therapy. That's the thing. Because it's not to say that you going to get in therapy and everything just going to be gravy and you just going to have it. It's just going to feel smooth. Cool de la, no, it's actually quite challenging at first. It's actually kind of annoying. It's actually kind of like, dang, I know I need this, but I hate to be here. To go through something and to have to talk about it and to have to unpack and to have to be willing to listen and accept, like, that's just like, that's why you gotta clap up for yourself. That's why you gotta clap for you. Because no matter what your therapist says, if you're being open and honest and transparent and you showing up, celebrate that. Be happy. Be proud of yourself. Because there's a lot of people who are never going to take that level of accountability. There's a lot of people who are never going to look at themselves and say, dang, is any of this my fault? Or is this not my fault? It's a strength and a power in being able to stand in your truth and being able to speak and being able to speak into what happened, speak in life to a thing. Anything that you speak is gonna come to life. So if you speak in the name or in the way of, okay, I'm gonna get this up off me, it has to come off you. That is how the universe works. It always works. If you wish it, if you believe for it, if you put the work in, I promise you, the universe is not a liar. Because it just is, the universe can't lie. Whatever you believe for and whatever you believe about yourself is what's gonna happen. In therapy, it shows you what you believe about yourself. It shows you what you love about yourself. It shows you what you're lacking. It shows you, you. And I think a lot of people are struggling to see themselves. And that's why therapy is essential. Because it's a different set of eyes. Again, it's like a good pastor. It's like a good teacher. Like a POV that is not yours. And it is this, I feel like it's this leveler like hesitation because there is this stigma in a way where it's like, especially in the black household, I'm glad we got here. Y'all know how black folks is. Y'all my demographic. Y'all know how our parents was. Where it's like people that came before us, they didn't see the things that we see today. And therapy was not the most. How many black parents in the 1990s, 2000, like, how many of them was really talking about, yeah, we need to go ahead and get, like, nah, especially going up to the church. It was definitely pray about it, whatever. But like a lot of therapy, the hesitation or resistance to therapy has come from, I think, a skewed mental perspective, like a skewed mentality as to really think that if you're dealing with a major mental health crisis or episodes or things that are not discussed or addressed within a church house, and it's a lot of, I believe that I'm not, you ain't gonna get it from just the first pulpit row. You ain't gonna get it just by praying it away. God gives us resources. He gives us tools. He gives us choice. He gives us free will. You are co-creating with God. And whatever it is you want your life to look like, you got to get to the root of what is not working. What's not working? What do you need to let go of? And when you figure that out, and when you start to lean into that, you look up and it's like, dang, happiness, joy. I've released this. You look up and it don't even be bothering you no more. And that's the thing. It's cool. I think whether you get therapy in an office, over the phone, whatever works for you. But in talking to somebody and getting it off your mind, it has somewhere to go. You have somewhere to go. After you see your therapist, you let whatever that was go. And now you can go about your day. And even if in the moments after therapy, it's still kind of like, dang, I hate that this happened to me. Dang, this sucks. Yeah, but you start to understand that you're done with it and you start to realize, okay, well, I went through this, but I went through it. It's over with. It does not hold me. It is no longer holding me captive. Your best friend probably can't tell you that. Your cousin probably can't tell you that because they don't have the tools. They don't specialize in that. And we got to stop thinking that you can pray everything away and that you can journal everything and that you can breathe through everything. No, it's never just going to be, it's never, you may not think you need a therapist. You may not think you need somebody to talk to, but life will show you. And it has showed me. And ultimately, like I said, I feel like it's a lot of strength in being vulnerable. There's a lot of strength in being vulnerable and being willing to sit with yourself. It just takes some courage. And if you are doing that, and if you've been working on that, pat yourself on the back. Cause I'm patting you on. I'm kudos to you. Anybody that's in therapy right now, anybody in the contemplative phase where they are considering it, shout out to you. Cause to even acknowledge or accept or even let the thought sink in that you might have something that you need to work on, let me tell you how powerful that is. Because look at the world today. You know what I mean? People ain't taking accountability and working on the stuff they need to be working on for them. For them. And they happen to, they don't even function societally. They just out here doing, just giving it out. So if you have, man, you could do it. You could do anything. You can do anything you want to. Anything. You can heal from anything. You can break any curse. You can break anything. But you got to be in the right place. You got to be talking to the right people. You got to be looking in within yourself. And you can literally overcome anything, but you have to want to. And you have to start. And you have to be aware. And you got to take ownership. Because I promise you, it ain't nobody right now who don't need help, who don't need therapy. But even, and if you can't necessarily afford therapy, work to afford it. Because what y'all want from me? I can't get y'all all the answers. Work to afford it. Jesus, I mean, do something. I ain't, look, man, I keep saying, I'm not saying y'all can't talk to y'all friends. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that you gonna need, ooh, child. Your friends just don't know everything. And then let's not even get into the fact, bro, you tell homegirl something, you tell your friend something, quote unquote, and then you look up 6 months, y'all beefed out. She got you on Twitter angry at you. Like, be careful of who you talking to and be careful and aware of, just be careful and aware. But like I said, man, y'all can do anything. You can heal from anything. You could literally do anything you want without, you could literally do anything you want. Anything. Like, if it's a thing, you can do it. I promise. There's nothing that if you don't put your literal mind to, won't happen. I will bet you. And you have to really like diligently, like, you could do literally anything you want to. Anything. There's not one thing that is off limits. There is nothing that the universe does not want you to have. You can have literally anything that you want, but you have to be able to put some type of energy and effort into making sure you bring that thing to fruition. Because I promise you, if you think that you just gonna sit and heal from the comfort of your own home, not trying to address nothing, not trying to talk to nobody, then it's gonna be more of the same. So I don't know. I feel like we have to start somewhere. We gotta start somewhere. And maybe you start from here. Maybe this was the starting point. Maybe this was a starting point. And if that's the case, I'm grateful and I'm glad to be here. And I'm glad y'all here. And if nothing else, you may not have made it to a therapist's office today, but you heard from one and you talked to somebody that very much loves you and very much wants I want to see everybody's mental health improve. But I think we getting there. And I think we coming to a point where everybody is having to really figure out, okay, how am I going to navigate? Because you can't just be out here willy nilly. We all going to have to start figuring that out and come into having some real deal discussions and real deal, like, looking at ourselves and figuring out what we need to work on. But also, man, we need to be loving ourselves. We need to make sure we give it to us. We need to just be making sure we're good.